So in this video here, I've got two very popular driver options for 2019. I've got the new Cobra King F9 SpeedBack, very popular option, really good price point, performs really well, and I'm putting it up against Ping G410 driver, so Ping's first weight adjustable driver. Going head to head, GC quad on the floor, going to give you some numbers as always, and also my feedback on how these drivers perform and maybe which one possibly suits me better. Okay, so we're going to start off with the Cobra F9, very popular option. We've got movable weights, we've got a CNC milled face, carbon top, we've got this sort of lowered skirt at the back of the driver which is creating aerodynamics. So a lot of tech sort of going into this particular driver. So I've got this set at 9 degree, set at 9 degree. I've got the heavyweight 4 which tends to suit me a little bit more, and I've got it in a smoke stiff flex in the shaft, so a bit more of that low spin shaft which again tends to suit my speed and delivery. So going to hit a batch of shots with this and then I'm going to put it up against the Ping and see what sort of happens. So from my testing of this, my original review of this driver was really good, performance was really good. I think it's a very good looking club, it feels superb, and as many golfers are sort of a shine into this, it's a really good price point, much lower than maybe the sort of high end of certain other brands. So let's get this first one hit. Sits lovely behind the golf ball, a little bit of detail on the top, that bit of a black gloss finish, it's nice and sort of square black face. That's a nice opening tee shot. It feels really responsive off the face. It just feels like it really springs off the face in a way. That was a nice opening tee shot there. 296 that crept out at. So nice opening shot. Pretty neutral there, just drawing off a tiny bit. Oh, just turn that one up. That left-hand side tends to be my miss. Struck it nice though, and it seemed to come off really nice on its flight. Again, the feeling and the sound was really good, muted sound. Yeah, 293, just working up that left-hand side a bit on that particular shot. Okay, there's my little correction to that left shot, just pushing that a little bit up that right side. Not quite a solid connection there, just dropping off a tiny bit of length here, 286. Again, just slightly up that right side, but again, feels really good. Love the feel and feedback through that driver. The sound of it is very solid crack to it. 288. Okay, we'll hit one more shot. That's a great hit. That's probably the best of the lot there. Very solid. That felt a little bit high in the face. That should be a bit longer. Yeah, there we go. So that creeps over that 300. 301 mark there, a little bit high in the face. I bet that's a good spin number there. That's where it sneaks that little bit of speed out, and obviously a little bit more neutral also on its flight. So let's switch over into the G410 and we'll see how that stacks up against the F9. So Ping G410 driver, this is the plus version with the movable weight around the back section. I've got the weight actually set in the middle at the back. 9 degree head set at 9 degree, and I've got it in an even flow Project X. In a stiff flex, so very similar sort of setup to what we've seen with the Cobra. Obviously the looks of it is very different, more of a matte black top now, a little bit quieter apart from those big turbulators at the front. Some like them, some don't. I don't mind them at all, to be honest. It sort of frames the ball. I quite like them, to be honest. So again, like the look of this, sits quite nice, very similar to what I'm used to. I play the LST in the G400, so very similar sort of look. That's a solid hit. Just lost my balance a little bit there, but that's very straight. Felt good. Nice crack to it. 292 there, so not a bad opening tee shot. Very neutral in its flight, which is good. Obviously, one thing I'd like to look at here also is dispersion of the ball. You know, distance is always something we tend to look at, isn't it? Obviously, it's nice to get that drive. I mean, for me, over that 300 mark. but at the same time, it's dispersion, isn't it? We've got to try and find the short stuff at the end of the day. That's the name of the game, is getting that short stuff, and then it makes things a lot easier from there. That's lovely. A little bit up the left side, but very neutral. It's not drawing left. Strong flight again. 291 again, so not maybe quite as long as Cobra at the moment, but the way it sort of feels and the flight it's coming out at is very nice. Oh, I've just come ahead of that one fraction. That's just leaked off up that right hand side, just flown. It's crept a little bit high. I'm guessing that spin will be a little bit high. You see what that spin is on that one? Yeah, just up to 2,700 on the spin, so a good 300-400 revs higher on that spin, purely because I just left that foot shot a little bit more out to that right, just trying to stop that left one a little bit more on that particular shot. So it just feels a little bit different in relation to that Cobra. Cobra was quite, I don't know, maybe like a springy sort of feel off the club face, which feels like you're going to hit it quite a long way. And maybe a little bit more muted. This is just a little bit more tinnier, but not overpowering by any means. It's a nice sound. It's just a little bit higher acoustics maybe than the Cobra. And as I say, that's not a bad thing. I don't mind that at all. Again, what we sort of hear and sound, it can be very personal for that particular golfer. You see, that's a little bit heely, but that's flown great. It's neutral. It's not turning left. It is a missed strike there, and you can see that ball speed, that distance down 283 on that particular one. Definitely felt that heel strike, but it's kept the accuracy, so that's not a bad thing, is it? You know, we're going to accept we may just drop a little bit of distance on those particular shots, but if you're keeping the accuracy in there, that's always a good thing. So obviously I had the Cobra with that heavyweight in that front section, which makes it a little bit more low spin. I've not looked at the numbers yet. We're going to obviously have a look at those in a minute, but obviously the Ping with the weight being in that back track, in that back section of the club, there's no way of shifting that weight into that front section. So that's probably the biggest difference between maybe these two particular drivers. But obviously I want to put them into what is the best sort of setting for me, really. And for the Cobra, it tends to be more that weight in that front section. Now Ping, maybe there is a talk about an LST coming out. It's not out as we're shooting this video, which is sort of towards the end of March 2019. But there is talk it's coming out, but it's just been very much sort of delayed from reaching production. So obviously that would give that more forward CG for maybe that sort of lower spin option. Get slightly up that right side, but I don't mind that too much. It's not going left, that. Good strike again. That's a better hit there. See there, that's 297. Okay, feels good. Like that. Different sound, different acoustics, obviously a different look behind it. Just feels a little bit different as well, but let's see if the numbers are any different. Right, number time. So we're going to look at the F9 driver on the top section, which is the yellow dots, and then we've got the row averages here. So we see 160 ball speed on average, launching at 10 degrees, spinning at just under 2,500 revs there. And that is giving us a carried distance average at 270, running out 293, obviously peaking out at that 301. Moving into the Ping, ball speed exactly the same at 160 on average. Launch, you can see just a little bit low. There's a couple there where I caught them a little bit into that heel section there. You see that 8 degree and that 7.8. That's just pulling that average down a little bit there, to be honest. So just obviously launched a little bit lower, probably just a bit more through strike than anything. And you can see that just pops my spin up a fraction there, so just a touch up on spin, maybe again through those strikes possibly. 2,600, and that is peaking a little bit low, again with that lower launch and those few shots just pulling it down, and 268 carry, so only 2 yards back on average in relation to that F9, and 290 as a total distance. Just looking at sort of club head speed and maybe efficiency there, so you can see club head speed averaging 111.8 with the F9. My speed's a little bit down at the moment. I've not been, to be honest, hitting a lot of golf balls recently. I just don't feel like I'm swinging as quick as I would normally do, but obviously it's equal to what I've done today. So maybe a little bit down from possibly what you guys maybe see on previous videos. Tend to be around that sort of maybe 113 to 115 sort of area in terms of club head speed. But it's very similar there, but actually the Ping was probably 1 mile an hour slower on average against those few hits, yet it was a little bit more efficient at 1.44 against a 143, because obviously we saw a same ball speed yet a slower club head speed, so which is quite good. So it's getting me that little bit more ball speed off the strikes there against the F9. Right, okay guys, so there we go. I think two really popular drivers. We've definitely seen that, or I've seen that through fitting sessions down here at the Academy. We've had a very busy month in March fitting. A lot of golfers, obviously it's a busy time of year, ready for the season, all the new sort of equipment launches coming out, so obviously we see a lot of fittings happening. And I think for me, I've seen a lot more of that Ping being sort of winning through fitting sessions in terms of that performance. And I think a little bit through that adjustability as well. I mean, both really, obviously very good drivers, both got their own way of sort of shifting sort of spec around in terms of weight and neck sleeve and everything. But I think really what's winning with the 410 in my personal view is obviously this adjustable weight, and it's a 16 gram tungsten weight, so it's quite a hefty weight that's shifting into that heel and toe, or maybe that neutral position. Neck sleeve obviously, as we've seen over the years, does a job, a little bit more adjustability in Ping from previous, like the G400, but there's that flat lie setting, which is proving a really popular one for any of the golfers, maybe just for right-handed golfers missing that ball up that left-hand side. Flat lie is playing an absolute, like a trump card really. It's an absolute great setting just to take that left side of the golf course out, so seeing some really good sort of adjustability to dial in for a particular golfer to reduce a certain bad shot, or to try and create a more desirable shot that they would like to sort of see. Okay, again, my message to you, as every video I would do, is you've got to go and get fitted. There's a lot of options, more options, probably more than ever before with drivers, so you've got to dial this in. There's shaft options galore, necks, movable weights, loft options, there's all sorts, isn't there? So, you know, definitely go out there and get fitted yourself, so important. But two really good drivers. And comment down below, I'd love to hear your thoughts. You know, F9, is that something you've tried? Is it in your bag? It's been a very popular one. Again, so is G410. Very strong. I think this year, drivers across the board, there's some really strong product out there this year, probably more so than any other year, to be honest. So it's always interesting to hear what you guys are going into and maybe your reasons as to why. So fire those comments down below. Thanks very much for watching. Appreciate watching as always. If you haven't subscribed and you're enjoying the content out there, just hit that subscribe button. Love you to do so. Join the community, hit the bell icon, so as soon as a video lands on my channel, you'll get notifications to be one of the very first ones to watch it, so you won't miss a thing. Also follow up on my social media platform, both Instagram and Twitter. The handles there are @MNGolfCoach, and I'll look forward to catching up with you all very soon.